The slave market on Keltar 7 reeked of desperation and ammonia. Captain Marcus Chen walked through the cramped corridors of the orbital station, his jaw clenched tight enough to crack teeth. Around him, dozens of species were displayed in energy cages, some proud, some broken, all trapped. The Galactic Consortium had made it clear. Slavery was legal in 70% of known space. Earth had been denied membership 3 times specifically because humans found the practice barbaric. Marcus had been warned not to cause trouble. He was here on a simple supply run, nothing more. But then he heard her voice. "Please." The words came in broken standard, barely above a whisper. "Can you buy me and take me as your slave?" Marcus stopped. In a reinforced cage to his left sat a young Sylvari female, her bioluminescent skin flickering weakly, a sign of malnutrition. Her species was known for their artistic brilliance and photosynthetic abilities. This one looked barely 20 in human years, her large eyes filled with a desperate hope that made Marcus's heart twist. "What's your name?" he asked softly, kneeling to her eye level. "Lycerin," she whispered, pressing against the bars. "Please, I have watched humans who come here. You are not cruel like the Vrexian slavers. You do not torture like the Korthian collectors. If you own me, perhaps I will only work hard and not suffer." Marcus felt rage building in his chest, the same rage that had gotten him reprimanded twice by galactic authorities. "How much are they asking?" Lycerin's eyes brightened with fragile hope. 8,000 credits. I am told I am expensive because my kind can paint light symphonies. But I will work. I will serve well. I promise. "Stop," Marcus said firmly but gently. He stood and flagged down the station's slave merchant, a corpulent Brogan whose tentacles dripped with expensive oils. "Ah, human," the merchant gurgled. "Interested in the Sylvari? Excellent taste. She is trained in domestic service, artistic performance, and—" "I'll give you 10,000 credits," Marcus interrupted. The Brogian's eye stalks quivered with delight. "Wonderful. The transaction will be processed immediately. She comes with standard ownership papers and I want her released to my custody in the next 5 minutes." Marcus continued, his voice cold. "And I want every legal document showing the transfer of ownership." 20 minutes later, Marcus guided a trembling Lycerin onto his ship, the Defiant Hope. She walked as if expecting a blow at any moment, her luminescence barely visible. "Sit," Marcus instructed, pointing to the co-pilot's chair. "Are you hungry?" Lycerin nodded hesitantly, settling into the seat like a frightened animal. Marcus retrieved a nutrient pack designed for photosynthetic species and handed it to her. She took it with shaking hands, her eyes never leaving him, watching for signs of anger or cruelty. "Lycerin," Marcus said, sitting in the pilot's chair and pulling up a holographic display. "Look at this." She glanced at the screen, still clutching the nutrient pack. "These are your ownership papers," Marcus explained. On the display, official galactic documents glowed in the air between them. "Watch carefully." With deliberate slowness, Marcus began deleting files. One by one, the legal documents that bound Lycerin to him dissolved into pixels. Her contract of servitude, the bill of sale, the ownership transfer, every single document that said Marcus Chen had any legal claim to her existence. Lycerin's luminescence began to pulse rapidly. Confusion, fear, and something else Marcus couldn't identify. "You are not property," Marcus said firmly, completing the deletion. "You never were, not to me, not to anyone who matters, but you paid for me," Lycerin whispered, her voice breaking. "I am yours. That is the law." "No," Marcus replied, his voice gentle but unyielding. "Earth doesn't recognize that law. The moment you stepped onto this ship, you stepped onto sovereign human territory, and on human territory, slavery doesn't exist." Tears began flowing from Lycerin's eyes, glowing softly as they traced down her face. Her entire body started to shimmer with light, blues and greens and golds cascading across her skin in patterns that Marcus realized were words, emotions expressed in her species' unique visual language. "I don't understand," she sobbed. Why would you spend credits and gain nothing?" Marcus smiled sadly. "Because someone once told me that the measure of a civilization isn't how it treats its strongest members, but how it treats its weakest." "You're not weak, Lycerin. You were just in a position where others could exploit you. That ends now." What happens to me now?" Lycerin asked, her luminescence shifting to uncertain yellows. "That's up to you," Marcus said. "I'm headed back to Earth. You can come with me." We have Silvari communities there who would help you start over. Or I can drop you at any neutral station you choose. Or if you have a homeworld, I'll take you there. Your choice. Your life." Lycerin stared at him for a long moment, her light pattern shifting through a spectrum of emotions. Finally, she whispered, "Earth. I would like to see the world that creates humans like you." Marcus nodded, beginning the launch sequence. "Fair warning. We're probably going to be banned from Keltar 7 after this. The Galactic Consortium really hates when we do things like this." "You've done this before?" Lycerin asked, surprise coloring her voice. 17 times, Marcus admitted with a slight grin. "Earth keeps paying my fines and telling me to stop. I keep not stopping. It's become a bit of a thing." For the first time since he'd seen her, Lycerin laughed, a sound like chimes in starlight. Her skin exploded in brilliant, joyful colors that filled the cockpit with dancing light. As the defiant hope broke away from the station, Marcus received the expected angry transmission from consortium authorities. He ignored it, as always. Behind him, Lycerin was painting patterns of light in the air, her first act of free artistic expression in 3 years of captivity. "Thank you," she whispered. "Don't thank me yet," Marcus replied. "Wait until you meet Earth's bureaucracy. The paperwork for refugee status is absolutely brutal." But he was smiling as he said it, and Lycerin was laughing again, her light bright enough to rival the stars themselves.